Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Magnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapata Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savalutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना हृद्यन्तस्तो यभद्राणि विदुनुति सुहृत्सतां नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भागवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God and Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shri Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances or those to serve path.
Pranam Jai Srila Prabhupada.
No
You
one
first
came today.
read first.
Can we wait for 5 minutes? Oh, devotees came.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Shubham Prabhu. Should
Hare
we
Krishna,
start?
Prabhu Tandar Pranam Jai Srila Prabhupada.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडोत प्रणाम जय प्रभुपाद
Haribol. Yes, Prabhu, we can start there. Join soon.
Okay. Canto 2, Chapter 3, Text 22. I hope there is not much background noise from my side.
It's good, Prabhu.
Okay. Parhayite te nayane narana lingani vishnurna nirikshito ye pado nrinamto druma janma bhajo kshetrani nanur vrajato hariryo. Synonyms: Parhayite, like plumes of a peacock. Te, those. Nayane, eyes. Naranam, of men. Lingani, forms. Vishnu, of the personality of Godhead. Na, does not. Nirikshata, look on. Ye, all such. Padav, legs. Nrinam, of men. Tau, those. Drumajanma, being born of the tree. Bhajav, like that. Kshetrani, holy places. Na, never. Anuvrajata, goes after. Hare, of the Lord. Yo, which. Translation: The eyes, which do not look at the symbolic representations of the personality of Godhead Vishnu, his forms, name, qualities, etc., are like those printed on the plumes of a peacock, and the legs, which do not move to the holy places where Lord is remembered, are considered to be like tree trunks. Purport. Especially for the householder devotees, the path of deity worship is strongly recommended. As far as possible, every householder, by direction of the spiritual master, must install the deities of Vishnu, forms like Radha, Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, or Sitaram, especially, or any other forms of the Lord like Narsimha, Varaha, Gaurnitai, Matsya Kurma, Saligram Shila, and many other forms of Vishnu like Trivikrama, Keshava, Achyuta, Vasudev, Narayan, Damodar, etc., as they are recommended in the Vaishnav Tantras of Puranas, and one's family should worship strictly following the direction and regulations of Archanaviti. Any member of the family who is above 12 years of age should be initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, and all the members of the household should be engaged in the daily worship of the Lord, beginning from morning 4 a.m. till night 10 p.m. by performing Mangal Artika, Niranjana, Archana, Puja, Kirtan, Shringar, Bhog Vaikali, Sandhya Artika, Patha, Bhoga at night, Shayan Artika, etc. Engagement in such worship of the deity under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master will greatly help the householders to purify their existence and make rapid progress in spiritual knowledge. Simple theoretical book knowledge is not sufficient for a neophyte devotee. Book knowledge is theoretical, whereas the arjan process is practical. Spiritual knowledge must be developed by a combination of theoretical and practical knowledge, and that is the guaranteed way for attainment of spiritual perfection. The training of devotional service by a neophyte devotee completely depends on the expert spiritual master who knows how to lead his disciple to make gradual progress towards the path back home, back to Godhead. One should not become a pseudo spiritual master as a matter of business to meet one's family expenditure, but one must be an expert spiritual master to deliver the disciple from the clutches of impending death. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has defined the bona fide qualities of a spiritual master, and one of the verses in that description reads, Shri Vigrahara Dhananityanana Shringara Tanmandiramajanado Yuktastha Bhaktamscha Nikunjayopi Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. Shri Vigraha is the Arsha or suitable worshipable form of the Lord, and the disciple should be engaged in worshipping the deity regularly by Shringar, by proper decoration and dressing, as also Mandir Marjanardo, the matter of cleansing the temple. The spiritual master teaches the neophyte devotee kindly, and personally to help him gradually in the realization of the transcendental name, quality, form, etc. of the Lord. Attention engaged in the service of the Lord, especially in dressing and decorating the temple, accompanied by musical kirtan and spiritual instructions from scripture, can only save the common man from the hellish cinema attraction and rubbish sex songs broadcast everywhere by radios. If one is unable to maintain a temple at home, he should go to another's temple where all the above performances are regularly executed. Visiting the temple of a devotee and looking at the profusely decorated forms of the Lord, well dressed in a well decorated, sanctified temple, naturally infuse the mundane mind with spiritual inspiration. People should visit the holy places like Vrindavan, where such temples and worship of the deity are specifically maintained. Formerly, all rich men like kings and rich merchants constructed such temples under the direction of expert devotees of the Lord, like the six Goswamis. And it is the duty of a common man to take advantage of these temples and festivals observed in the holy pilgrimages by following the footprints of great devotees Anuvraja. One should not visit all these sanctified pilgrimages and temples with sightseeing in mind, But one must go to such temples and sanctified places, immortalized by the transcendental pastimes of the Lord and guided by proper men who know the science. This is called Anuvraja. Anu means to follow. It is therefore best to follow the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master, even in visiting temples and the holy places of pilgrimage. One who does not move in that way is as good as the standing tree condemned by the Lord not to move. The moving tendency of the human being is misguided by visiting places for sightseeing. The best purpose for the best purpose of such traveling tendencies should be fulfilled by visiting the holy places established by great acharyas and thereby not being misled by atheistic propaganda of money making men who have no knowledge of spiritual matters. Text 23. जीवांचो भागवतांघ्रिरेणु न जातुमर्त्यो विलभेत यस्तु श्रीविष्णुपद्या मनुजस्तुलस्य श्वासंचवो यस्तु न वेद गंधम. Synonyms: Jivan, while living; Sava, a dead body; Bhagavata, an angry Renu, dust of the feet of a pure devotee; Na, never; Jatu, at any time; Martha, mortal; Abhilabheta, particularly received; Yah, a person; Tu, but; Shri, with opulence; Vishnu, Vishnupada, of the lotus feet of Vishnu; Manuja, a descendant of Manu, a man; Tulasya, leaves of the Tulsi tree; Swasan, while breathing; Sava, still a dead body; Yah, who, too, but na Veda, never experienced; Gandham, the flavor. Translation: the person who has not at any time received the dust of the feet of a pure devotee of the Lord upon his head certainly is a dead body. And the person who has never experienced the flavor of the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord is also a dead body, although breathing. God. Purport. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the breathing dead body is a ghost. When a man dies, he is called dead. But when he again appears in a subtle form not visible to the present vision and yet acts, such a dead body is called a ghost. Ghosts are Ghosts are always very bad elements, always creating a fearful situation for others. Similarly, the ghost-like non-devotees who have no respect for the pure devotees nor for the Vishnu deity in the temples create a fearful situation for the devotees at all times. The Lord never accepts any offering by such impure ghosts. There is a common saying that one should first love the dog of the beloved before one shows any loving sentiments for the beloved. The stage of a pure devotee is attained by sincerely serving a pure devotee of the Lord. The first condition of devotional service of the Lord is, therefore, to be a servant of pure devotee. And this condition is fulfilled by the statement, reception of the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee, who is served, who, who also served another pure devotee. That is the way of pure disciplic succession or devotional parampara. Maharaj Rahugana inquired from the great saint Jadbharat as to how to attain such liberated stage of Paramhamsa, and in answer, the great saint replied as follows. Rahugana tapasa nayati na chejya nirvapanat grihadva na chandasa naiva jalagni suryo vina mahatpadarajobhishekam. O King Rahugan, the perfectional stage of devotional service or the Paramhamsa stage of life cannot be attained without being blessed by the dust of the feet of great devotees. It is never attained by tapasya, austerity, the Vedic worshipping process, acceptance of renounced order of life, the discharge of the duties of household life, chanting of Vedic hymns, or the performance of penances in the hot sun, within cold water, or before the blazing fire. In other words, Lord Shri Krishna is the property of his pure unconditional devotees, and as such, only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotee. Krishna se tomar Krishna dite paro. Krishna is never obtainable directly. Lord Chaitanya, therefore, designated himself as the Gopi Bhartu Das Dasanudasa, or the most obedient servant of the servants of the Lord who maintains the gopi damsels at Vrindavan. A pure devotee, therefore, never approaches the Lord directly, but tries to please the Lord's servant of the servant. And thus the Lord becomes pleased. And the devotee then only can relish the taste of the tulsi leaves stuck to his lotus feet. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Lord is never to be found by becoming a great scholar or Vedic literatures, but he is very easily approachable through his pure devotee. In Vrindavan, all the pure devotees pray for the mercy of Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. Srimati Radharani is a tender hearted feminine counterpart of the Supreme Whole, re- resembling the perfectional stage of the worldly feminine nature. Therefore, the mercy of Radharani is available very readily by the sincere devotees. And once she recommends such a devotee to Lord Krishna, the Lord at once accepts the devotee's admittance in his association. The conclusion is therefore that one should be more serious about seeking the mercy of the devotee than of the Lord directly. And by doing so, by the goodwill of the devotee, the natural attraction for the service of the Lord will be revived. Krishna. Text 24. Tadasmasaram hridayam batedam yadgrihamaner harinamatheye navikriyetath yada vikaro netre jalam gatra jureshu harsha. Synonyms: tat, that. Asmasaram is steel framed, hridayam heart, batedam certainly that, yat which, grihamane in spite of chanting, harinama the holy name of the Lord, theya by concentration of the mind, na does not, vikriyeta change, atha does, yada when, vikara reaction, netre in the eyes, jalam tears, gatra ruheshu at the pores, harsha eruptions of ecstasy. Translation: certainly that heart is steel framed, which, in spite of chanting the holy names of the Lord with concentration, does not change when ecstasy takes place and tears fill the eyes and hair stand on end. Purport. We should note with profit that in the first 3 chapters of the second canto, a gradual process of development of devotional service is being presented. In the first chapter of the first step in devotional service for God consciousness by the process of hearing and chanting has been stressed. And a gross conception of the personality of Godhead in his universal form for the beginners is recommended. By such a gross conception of God through the material manifestations of his energy, one is enabled to spiritualize the mind and the senses and gradually concentrate the mind upon Lord Vishnu, the Supreme, who is present as the super soul in every heart and everywhere, in every atom of the material universe. The system of Pancha Upasana, recommending 5 mental attitudes for the common man, is also enacted for this purpose, namely gradual development, worship of the superior that may be in the form of fire, electricity, the sun, the mass of living being, Lord Shiva, and at last the impersonal super soul, the partial representation of Lord Vishnu. They are all nicely described in the second chapter. But in the third chapter, further development is prescribed after one has actually reached the stage of Vishnu worship or pure devotional service. And the mature stage of Vishnu worship is suggested herein in relation to the change of heart. The whole process of spiritual culture is aimed at changing the heart of the living being in the matter of his eternal relation with the Supreme Lord. As subordinate servant, his eternal constitutional position. So with the progress of devotional service, the reaction of change in the heart is exhibited by gradual detachment from the sense of material enjoyment. Who can you take up? So, with the progress of devotional service, the reaction of change in the heart is exhibited by gradual detachment from the sense of material enjoyment, by a false sense of lording it over the world, and an increase in the attitude of rendering loving service to Lord. With Vaidhi Bhakti or regulated devotional service by the limbs of the Lord, namely the eyes, the ears, the nose, the hands, the legs, as already explained here before, is now stressed herein in relation to the mind, which is the impetus of all activities of the limbs of the body. It is expected by all means that by discharging regulated devotional service, one must manifest the change of heart. If there is no such change, the heart must be considered as steel framed, for it is not for it is not melted even when there is chanting of the holy name of the Lord. We must always remember that hearing and chanting are the basic principles of discharging devotional duties, and if they are properly performed, there will follow the reactional ecstasy with signs of tears in the eyes and standing of the hairs on the body. These are natural consequences and are these are natural consequences and are the preliminary symptoms of a bhava stage, which occurs before one reaches the perfectional stage of prema, love of Godhead. If the reaction does not take place even after continuous hearing and chanting of the Lord, of the holy name of the Lord, it may be considered to be due to offenses only. That is the opinion of the Sandarbha. In the beginning of chanting of the holy name of the Lord, if the devotee has not been very careful about evading the 10 kinds of offenses at the feet of the Lord, namely, feet of feet, sorry. If the devotee has not been very careful about evading the 10 kinds of offenses at the feet of the holy name, certainly the reaction of feelings of separation will not be visible by tears in the eyes and standing of the hair on end. The bhava stage is manifested by 8 transcendental symptoms, namely stuntness, perspiration, standing of the hair on the end, failing in voice, trembling, paleness of the body, tears in the eyes, and finally trance. The Nectar of Devotion, a summary study of Srila Rupa Goswami, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, explained those symptoms and vividly described other transcendental developments, both in steady and accelerating manifestations. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has very critically discussed all these power displays in connection with some unscrupulous neophytes imitating the above symptoms for cheap appreciation. Not only Vishwanath Chakravarti, but also Srila Rupa Goswami treated them very critically. Sometimes all the above 8 symptoms of ecstasy are imitated by mundane devotees, Prakrit Sahajiyas. But the pseudo symptoms are at once detected when one sees the pseudo devotee addicted to so many forbidden things. A person addicted to smoking, drinking, or illegitimate sex with women, even though decorated with the signs of a devotee, cannot have all the above mentioned ecstatic symptoms. But it is seen that some but it is seen that sometimes they are willfully imitated. And for this reason, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti accuses the imitators of being stone-hearted men. They are, they are even affected sometimes by the reflection of such transcendental symptoms. Yet, if they still do not give up the forbidden habits, then they are hopeless. Then they are hopeless cases for transcendental realization. When Lord Chaitanya met Srila Ramananda Rai of Kavaur on the bank of Godavari, the Lord developed all these symptoms. But because of the presence of some non-devotee Brahmanas who were attendants of the Rai, the Lord suppressed these symptoms. So sometimes they are not visible even in the body of the first-class devotee for certain circumstantial reasons. Therefore, real steady bhava is definitely displayed in the matter of cessation of material desires, Shanti. Utilization of every moment in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, avyartha kalatvam. Eagerness for glorifying the Lord constantly, namagani sadaruchi. Attraction for living in the land of the Lord, pritistad vasati sthale. complete detachment from material happiness, virakti, and pridelessness, mana shunyata. One who has developed all these transcendental qualities is really possessed of the bhava stage, as distinguished from the stone-hearted imitator or mundane devotee. Actually, this is one verse. Uh, शांतिर अव्यर्थ कालत्वम विरक्तिर मान शून्यता आशाबद्ध समुत्कंठा नाम गाने सदा रुचि आसक्तिस्तद गुणाख्याने प्रीतिस्तद वसति स्थले. It's from Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya Leela. What was that? Yeah, Madhya Leela 23.18.
Yes, Prabhu.
The whole process can be summarized as follows. The advanced devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord is in perfectly offenseless manner and is friendly to everyone, can actually release the transcendental taste of glorifying the Lord. And the result of such realization is reflected in the cessation of all the material desires, etc. As mentioned above, the neophytes, due to their being in the lower stage of devotional service, are invariably envious, so much so that they invent their own ways and means of devotional regulations without following the acharyas. As such, even if they make a show of constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord, they cannot relish the transcendental taste of the holy name. Therefore, the show of tears in the eyes, trembling, perspiration or unconsciousness, etc., are all condemned. They can, however, get into touch with a pure devotee of the Lord and rectify their bad habits. Otherwise, they shall continue to be stone-hearted and unfit for any treatment. A complete progressive march on the return path home back to Godhead will depend on the instructions of the revealed scripture directed by realized devotees. Hare Krishna. Any other devotee can read. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu Standard Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you for joining. Who will read next?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam to all of you. Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, are you going to read or shall I? Shubham Prabhu. Okay, Swami Prabhu, I will read. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Text 25. That's 25, yeah. Tatapi dehe anga manonukulam prabhasheshe bhagavata pradhanaha yad yad aha vayyasakir atma vidya vish visharado nipatim sadhu Krishtaha synonyms Ata. Therefore, Dehi. Please explain. Anga. Oh, Sota Goswami. Manaha. Mind. Anukulam. Favorable to our mentality. Prabha Sheshe. Prabha Shese. You do speak. Bhagavata. The great devotee. Pradhanaha. The chief. Yadaha. What he spoke. Sakihi. Sukadeva Goswami, Atma Vidya, transcendental knowledge, Visharadaha, expert, Nipatim, unto the king, Sadhu, very good, Prishtaha, being asked. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, His Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: O Sota Goswami, your words are pleasing to our minds. Please therefore explain this to us as it was spoken by the great devotee Sukadeva Goswami, who is very expert in transcendental knowledge and who spoke to Maharaj Parikshit upon being asked. Can you please scroll up, Prabhu? What is the other name for Sukadeva Goswami? Okay, Vaiyasakihi. Vaiyasakihi. Okay, purport. Knowledge explained by the previous Acharya, like Sukadeva Goswami, and followed by the next line, Sota. Next, like Sota Goswami is always powerful transcendental knowledge, and it is therefore penetrating and useful to all submissive students. Thus, and the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second canto, third chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Pure Devotional Service, the Change in Heart. Okay, chapter 4, the process of creation. Text 1. Suta uvacha Vayasakeri iti vachas tattva निश्चय्यम् आत्मनः उपधार्य मतिं कृष्णे औत्तरेयः सतीं व्यधात्. Sota Vacha. Sota Goswami said, Vayasake of Sukadeva Goswami iti, thus Vachaha, speeches, Tattva Nishchayam, that which verifies the truth, Atmanaha, in the self, Upadharya, just having realized Matim, concentration of the mind, Krishna unto Lord Krishna, Uttarayaha, the son of Uttara, Satim, chaste, Yadhat, applied. Translation. Suta Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, after hearing the speeches of Sukadeva Goswami, which were all about the truth of the self, applied his concentration faithfully upon Lord Krishna. Purport. The word Satim is very significant. This means existing and chaste, and both imports are perfectly applicable in the case of Maharaj Parikshit. The whole Vedic adventure is to draw one's attention entirely unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna without any diversion, as it is instructed in the Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Fortunately, Maharaj Parikshit had already been attracted to the Lord from the very beginning of his body in the womb of his mother. In the womb of his mother, he was struck by the Brahmastra atomic bomb released by Aswadhama, but by the grace of the Lord, he was saved from being burnt by the fiery weapon. And since then, the king continually concentrated his mind upon Lord Krishna, which made him perfectly chaste in devotional service. So, by natural sequence, he was a chaste devotee of the Lord. And when he further heard from Srila Sukadeva Goswami that one should worship the Lord only and no one else, even though full of all desires or desireless, his natural affection for Krishna was strengthened. We have already discussed these topics in this connection. To become a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, two things are very much essential, namely having a chance of being born in the family of a devotee and having the blessings of a bona fide spiritual master. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Parikshit Maharaj had both opportunities. He was born in a family of devotees like the Pandavas, and just to continue the dynasty of the Pandavas, Maharaj Parikshit was specifically saved by the Lord just to show special favor to the Pandavas, and later on, by the arrangement of the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit was cursed by the boy of a Brahmana and was able to get the association of a spiritual master like Sukadeva Goswami. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that a fortunate person, by the mercy of the spiritual master and Lord Krishna achieves the path of devotional service. This was perfectly applicable in the case of Maharaj Parikshit. By way of being born in the family of devotees, he automatically came in touch with Krishna, and after being so contact, uh, contacted by contacted, constantly remembered him. Consequently, Lord Krishna gave the king a further chance of development in devotional service by introducing him to Sukadeva Goswami, a stalwart, stalwart devotee of the Lord with perfect knowledge in self-realization. And by hearing from a bona fide spiritual master, he was perfectly able to concentrate his chaste mind further upon Lord Krishna as a matter of course. Text 2. Atmajaya Sutagara Pashu Dravina Bandhushu Rajye Chaivikale Nityam Virudham Mamatam Jahau. Synonyms: Atma, body; Jaya, wife; Suta, son; Agara, palace; Pasu, horses and elephants; Dravina, treasury house; Bandhushu, unto friends and relatives; Rajye, in the kingdom; Cha, also; Avikale, without being disturbed; Nityam, constant; Viruddham, deep rooted; Mamatam, affinity; Jahau, gave up; Virudham, deep rooted. Translation: Maharaj Parikshit, as a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna, was able to give up all deep-rooted affection for his personal body, wife, children, palace, animals, horses and elephants, treasury house, friends and relatives, and his undisputed kingdom. Purport: to become liberated means to become free from Dehatma Buddhi, the illusionary attachment for personal bodily coverings and everything connected with the body, namely the wife, children, and all other entanglements. One selects a wife for bodily comforts, and the result is children. For wife and children, one requires a dwelling place, and as such, the residence house is also necessary. The animals like horses, elephants, cows, dogs, etc., are all household animals, and a householder has to keep them as householder paraphernalia. In the modern civilization, the horse and elephants have been replaced by cars and conveniences with considerable horsepower. To maintain all the household affairs, one has to increase the bank balance and be careful about the treasury house. And in order to display the opulence of material assets, one has to keep good relations with friends and relatives, as well as become very careful about maintaining the status quo. This is called material civilization of material attachment. Devotion for Lord Krishna means negation of all material attachments as detailed above. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Parikshit was awarded all material amenities and an indisputed kingdom to enjoy the undisturbed position of king. But by the grace of Lord, he was able to give up all connection with material attachment. This is the position of a pure devotee. Maharaj Parikshit, due to his natural affection for Lord Krishna as a devotee of the Lord, was always executing his royal duties on behalf of the Lord, and as a responsible king of the world, he was always careful to see that the influence of Kali would not enter his kingdom. A devotee of the Lord never thinks of his household paraphernalia as his own, but surrenders everything for the service of the Lord. Thereby, living entities under a devotee's care get the opportunity for God realization by the management of a devotee master. Attachment for household paraphernalia and for Lord Krishna go poorly together. One attachment is the path of darkness, and the other attachment is the path of light. When there is light, there is no darkness, and when there is darkness, there is no light. But an expert devotee can turn everything to the path of light by service attitude of the Lord, and the best example here is the Pandavas. Maharaj Yudhishthira and householders like him can turn everything into light by dovetailing the so-called material assets in the service of the Lord. But one who is not trained up or is unable to turn everything to the service of the Lord, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe, must give up all material connection before he can be fit to hear and chant the holy glories of the Lord. Or, in other words, one who has seriously heard Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for one day, even like Maharaj Parikshit from a fit personality like Sukadeva Goswami, may be able to lose all affinity for material things. There is no utility simply in imitating Maharaj Parikshit and hearing Bhagavatam from professional men even for 700 years. To take Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as a means of maintaining family expenditure is the grossest type of Namaparadha offense at the feet of Lord. Sarva Subha Kriya Samyam Api Pramadaha. Text 3-4. Paprachchemam evartham yanmam prachatha sattamaham krishnanubhava sravane sraddhadhano mahamanaha samstam vignaya sannayasya karma teir vargikam च यत् वासुदेवे भगवती आत्मभावं दृढां गतः. Synonyms. Papracha asked, cha also, imam this, eva exactly like, artham purpose, yet that, mam unto me, prachata you are asking, sattamaha oh great sages, Krishna Anubhava, wrapped in the thought of Krishna, Sravane, in hearing, Sraddhadhanaha, full of faith, Maha Manaha, great soul, Samstam, death, Samstam, death, Vignaya, being informed, Sanyasya, renouncing, Karma, fruitive activity. Come down, bro. Please. No. Yeah, karma, fruitive activities. Trivargikam, three principles of religion, economic development, and sense gratification. Cha, also, yet, what it may be. Vasudeve, unto Lord Krishna, Bhagavati, the personality of Godhead, Atma Bhavam, attraction of love, Dridham, firmly fixed, Kataha achieved. Translation: O great sages, the great soul, Maharaj Parikshit, constantly wrapped in the thought of Lord Krishna, knowing well of his imminent death, renounced all sorts of fruitive activities, namely acts of religion, economic development, and sense gratification, and thus fixed himself firmly in his natural love for Krishna and asked exactly all these questions as you are asking me. Purport. The three activities of religion, economic development, and sense gratification are generally attractive for conditioned souls struggling for existence in the material world. Such regulatory activities prescribed in the Vedas are called the karma kandiya, conception of life, and householders are generally recommended to follow the rules just to enjoy material prosperity both in this life and in the next. Most people are attracted by such activities. Even in the activities of their modern godless civilization, people are more concerned with economic development and sense gratification without any religious sentiments. As a great emperor of the world, Maharaj Parikshit had to observe such regulations of the Vedic Karma Kandiya section, but one more time. As a great emperor of the world, Maharaj Parikshit had to observe such regulations of the Vedic Karmakandiya section, but by the slight association with Sukadeva Goswami, he could perfectly understand that Lord Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, from whom he had a natural love since his birth, is everything, and thus he fixed his mind firmly upon him, renouncing all modes of Vedic karma kandiya activities. This perfectional stage is attained by a jnani after many births. The jnanis, or the empiric philosophers endeavoring for liberation, are thousands of times better than the fruitive workers, and out of hundreds of thousands of such jnanis, one is liberated factually. And out of hundreds of thousands of such liberated persons, even one person is rarely found who can firmly fix his mind onto the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Krishna, as it is declared by the Lord himself in the Bhagavad Gita 7:19. Maharaj Parikshit, is it Bahunam Janmanamante? 7:19? I'm not sure. Okay. Maharaj Parikshit is specifically qualified with the word Mahatmanaha, which puts him on an equal level with the Mahatmas described in the Bhagavad Gita. In the later age also, there were many Mahatmas of this type, and they also gave up all Karmakandiya conceptions of life, solely and wholly depending on the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, who is Lord Krishna himself, taught us in his Sikshashtakam आश्लिष्यवा पादरतां विनस्तु माम् अदर्शनं मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः. Lord Krishna, who is the lover of many devotees, women, may embrace his fully surrendered maidservant, or may trample me with his feet, or he may render me broken-hearted by not being present before me for a long duration of time. Still, he is nothing less than the absolute Lord of my heart. Srila Rupa Goswami spoke this Virachaya Mayi Dandam Dina Bandho Dayam Va Gatir Iha Na भवत्तः काचिद् अन्या ममांस्ति निपतातु शतकोटि निर्भरं वा नवाम्बः तद् अपि किल पयोदः स्तूयते चातकेन. O Lord of the poor, do what you like with me. Give me either mercy or punishment. But in this world, I have none to look after except your lordship. The Chataka bird always prays for the cloud, regardless of whether it showers, rains, or throws a thunderbolt. Srila Madhavendra Puri, the grand spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya, took leave of all Karmakandiya obligations in the following words. Sandhya Vandana Bhadram Astu Bhavato Bhayo Snana Tubhyam Namo Bho Devaha Pitrasta Tarpana Vidhau Naham Kshamaha Kshamayataam Yatra Kwapi Nishadya Yadava Kulottamasya Kamsha Dvishaha Samsaram Smaram Agham Harami Tad Alam Manye Kim Anyena Me. O my evening prayer, all good unto you. O my morning bath, I bid you goodbye. O demigods and forefathers, please excuse me. I am unable to perform any more offering for your pleasures. Now I have decided to free myself from all reactions of sin simply by remembering anywhere and everywhere the great descendant of Yadu and the great enemy of Kamsa, Lord Krishna. I think this is sufficient for me. So, what is the use of further endeavors?
Oh, yeah, this is really nice verse. Sometimes I search this verse.
Where is it
This is
described?
also Prabhu in Bhagavad Gita.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu's please accept my humble
The
obeisances
grand
of Vishnu
spiritual
Prabhupada.
mother took leave of all karmakandi obligations in the following words, but in which book is it mentioned or described?
Yes, Prabhu, it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita per part, I think 2.59.
2 point?
1 minute, I'm thinking, Prabhu, maybe 5.
Okay, that may be described in the Bhagavad Gita verse. Okay, but what is the original book that describes this verse? It is not mentioned here,
I
though.
think it is Stotra Ratna of Yamunachari.
Mhm. Okay, anyhow, let us continue and complete it.
Yes, Prabhu. 1 second.
Oh, copy it. Bhagavad Gita 2.52. Mhm. See.
Yes, Prabhu, 2.52.
Okay, but the book name is not mentioned even here.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, he has written a famous book, Stotra Ratna, maybe there.
Mhm. Okay, Srila Madhavendra said further, Mukdhamam Nigadantu Niti Nipuna Bhrantam Muhur Vaidikaha Mandam Bandhava Sanchaya Jada Dhiyam Muktadharah Sodarah Unmattam Dhanino Unmattam Dhanino Viveka Chaturah Kamam Mahadambhikam Moktum Na Shamate Manag Api Mano Govindapada Spraham. Let the sharp moralist accuse me of being illusioned. I don't mind it. Experts in Vedic activities may slander me as being misled. Friends and relatives may call me frustrated. My brothers may call me a fool. The wealthy Maimonides may point me out as mad, and the learned philosophers may assert that I am much too proud. Still, my mind does not budge an inch from the determination of serving the lotus feet of Govinda, though I be unable to do it. And also, Prahalad Maharaj said, Dharmartha Kama iti yo. Let me complete it. Bro. First one. Dharmartha kama iti yobhi hitas trivargo trivarga iksha trayi naya naya damau vividha cha vartam manyetad etad akhilam nigamasya satyam swama swatma swatmarpanam स्वसुहृदः paramasya pumsaha. Religion, economic development, and sense gratification are celebrated as three means of attaining the path of salvation. Of these, iksha trayi, especially, that is knowledge of the self, knowledge of fruitive activities, or fruitive acts, and logic, and other politics and economics are different means of livelihood. All these are different subjects of Vedic education, and therefore I consider them temporary engagements. On the other hand, surrendering unto the Supreme Lord Vishnu is a factual gain in life, and I consider it the ultimate truth. The whole matter is concluded in the Bhagavad Gita 2:41 as Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi, or the absolute path of perfection. Srila Baladev Vidya Bhushana, a great Vaishnava scholar, defines this as Bhagavata Archana Rupaika Nishkama Karmabhir Vishuddha Chittaha. Accepting transcendent accepting transcendental loving service of the Lord as the prime duty, free from fruitive reaction. So Maharaj Parikshit was perfectly right when he accepted firmly the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, renouncing all karma, kandiya, conceptions of life.
Ribo. Okay, now we need to go to Damodarastakam prayers.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances of glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhu, can you summarize today's total?
Who wants to summarize?
Yes,
In fact,
maybe
in
someone can.
single sentence, if you consider all those 4 or 5 verses together, see, the essence is that you have to avoid all the other principles, okay, and consider just surrendering unto the Lord, okay, by performing your devotional activities. It is the sum and whole of the 4 or 5 verses
No,
collectively.
Prabhu, if we see the total verses are today, we have read what the summary.
Can you please say that again? I haven't got it properly.
Before you read,
Mhm.
so before you were reading Prabhu, what is the
Mhm.
total summary of today's read?
Okay. Maybe Dheeraj Prabhu, can you please summarize what you have?
I think it is that human life that is not used in Krishna consciousness is useless.
Mhm.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. The last chapter
Yeah.
ended explaining how the different pariparts and different things are useless if not engaged in the service of the Lord.
Yeah, so the third chapter was very quite strong. So it was saying that how if we don't hear about the glories of the Lord, then our ears are like the ears of snake. And if we don't visit the holy pilgrimages, then our legs are like that of trees.
No.
And if we don't bow down to the Lord, then our our head is like just a burden.
No.
So in this way, so
Right.
these are the verses, like it is explained in very harsh way, but it is true. Yeah, the heart is like it is of steel. if it doesn't melt hearing the glories of the Lord.
No, it's not harsh though.
Yeah, like means very eye-opening verses,
Yeah, exactly.
very strong, bold,
Exactly.
and it is
Yeah.
required also, like for us in Kali Yuga. So we need such a strong chastisement in order to wake up. We are in the like it's like a fire. We are in fire. So if our house is in the fire, so we should do anything and everything to get out of it. So it's required.
Mm.
Hare Krishna.
Yo, bro.
Haribol.
Prabhu, can I start the first one?
Yes, Prabhu.
Namamishvaram Sachi Anandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yeshoda Biyolu Kala Davamanam Param Shatam Atyanto Trutya Gopya. Oh, sorry for that.
रोदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रयुग्मं मृजन्तं कराम्भोजयुग्मेन सातङ्कनेत्रम् मुहुःसाधकम्पतिरेखाङ्ककण्ठम् स्थितग्रयुं दामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम्
इति दृक्स्वलीयाब्धिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जान्तमाख्यापयन्तं तदीहेषिदग्नेषु भक्ते चितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं सता वृत्तिवन्दे
वरं देवा मोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चन्यं वृणेऽहं वरेशादपीह इदं देव पुनाथ गोपालबालं सदा मे मान्या सविरस्तं किमन्ये. So this was different too.
इदं द्विमुखं भोजम् अत्यन्तनीनैर्वृतं कुन्दलैः स्निग्धरक्तश्च गोप्य मुहुः बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्य विरास्तामलं लक्ष्याभि
नमो देवदामोदर अनन्तविष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालाब्धिमग्नं कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्याति दीनं बतानुगृहाणि क्षमामज्यं यद्यक्षिदृश्यः
कुबेरात्मजोऽद्वत्. Yes, Prabhu. त्वया मोचितो भक्ति भजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकं मे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह.
Namaste Studamni Spura Diptidamne Twadiyadara Yata Vishwasadamne Namo Radhikaye Twadiyai Priyaye Namo Nantalilya Devaya Tubhyam.
नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयाय प्रियाय नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्. Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, okay, translation.
The Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose sharp-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his Mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed to that Supreme Lord Sri Damodara. I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with three lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with ropes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances.
By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times.
O Lord, although you are okay, sorry for O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikunta, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. Oh Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bala Gopala in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this?
O Lord, your lotus feet, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like Bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of
O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you, O Damodar, O Ananda Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me by showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes.
O Lord Damodara, just as the true Kuvera, Manigriva, and Nalakuvara were delivered of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation.
O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. To the brilliantly effulgent rope with which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes.
Haribo Damodarastakam ki jai. चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयःकरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदां पुण्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
Namna Makari Bahuda Sarva Shakti Statrar Pinakala Eda Trishi Dova Kripan Bhagavan Mamapi Durudaiva Met Vishami Haji Na Nuragra
Yanadapi sunichena tarorapi saishna hamanina manadena kirtane sada harihi.
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि
Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budo kripaya tovapada pankaja stitadu lisadrishim vichintaya.
Nainam galadashrudharaya vadanam gadgada hridaya gira pulake nichitam vapuh kada tava nama grihane bhavishyati.
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविर्ष्यायितं शून्ययितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे
Sisleva paratam pinastuma madarshanam marmam hatam karotuva yata tatava vidatulan pato mat prananatastu sa eva narpanaha.
Haribo,
Glory.
Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years. Oh, 1 second. Where it is?
Come down.
All the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of your kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prejudice, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want you causes devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal savior, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know none but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted. By not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Haribo, Chaitanya
Shri
Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Satyam ki jai.
Mahaprabhu ki jai. Bahu Janma Yadi Shravana. Okay, Bahu Janma Kare Yadi Shravana Kirtana Tabuta Na Paya Krishna Pada Prema Dana. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy names for many breaths, he will not get the love of Godhead. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. The first offense to blaspheme the devotees who've dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
The second offense is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Third offense
The
to
third
disrespect the spiritual master or consider him as an ordinary person.
Fourth offense
Fourth
is to
offense
blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version.
Fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination.
Sixth offense is to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
Eighth
Eighth
offense,
offense is
consider
to
the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda.
Ninth offense is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
Tenth offense, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like the desired trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Vanchakalpatarup.
Sarupyascha kripa sarupyascha paditanam
Patanam
pavanebhyo
Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.
the Gaudiya
Saraswata
Vaishnava.
Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj Prabhu Parigija.